Welcome back to the show, guys. I'm your host, Valentine, expecting you guys are having a wonderful and blessed day. On today's show, we are going to be talking about the freshman sensation for the Democratic Communist Party. You could just call it that. It's the Communist Party. That's where they're going with it. Of the Democratic Communist Party of America, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, as Rush Limbaugh likes to call her. What does she say? I've talked about this before on the channel, where she says, "What does a suburb? What does defund the police look like?" Because she really wants the police to be defunded, in the midst of a crime wave in New York City, which is crazy. She wants to defund the police and invest it in what? What is going to be the solution? Oh yeah, the solution to the apart from that, where she said that the uptick in crime in New York City, murders and stuff like that. She's saying that, oh no, it's because the people want to, they're stealing because they want to have bread for their families. Yo, damn, that sounds like a romantic novel. Like we're like back in the times before the Great Depression or during the Great Depression. People, they're stealing bread for their family. The father is stealing the bread for his family because he has no food in the house. Does that sound dumb? Do I sound dumb doing that accent? The answer is yes. She sounds dumb saying that stupidity, that murders are up because people are stealing bread. But what does she says about what defund the police looks like? Let's see her brilliant, meaning asinine, answer to her solution to crime in New York City.
It's funny because when people ask me, what does a world where we defund the police, where, defunding police looks like, I tell them it looks like a suburb. Because in Yorktown Heights and in a lot of these communities in Westchester, what is the most important thing that is like political?
Let me tell you, this is where she's really from. She even though she says she's from the Bronx, she's not from the Bronx. She's really from Yorktown Heights. Yorktown Heights it's about an hour away from New York City, from the Bronx. It's about an hour away. It's a suburb. It's very well off people living there. That's where she lives. This is where her life experience comes from. She didn't went to high school in the Bronx. She has no idea what happens in Bronx High School, and this is why she's speaking like this. It's just she's speaking from a lack of, or from a place of ignorance.
Like politically, the most important thing that the world revolves around is school funding. People will uproot their entire lives. You will see people go nuts for school funding. This doesn't happen in suburbs for a lot of reasons. One, suburbs were not redlined. And so
let me give you just a simple explanation of redlining. Redlining is an illegal practice. Again, it's illegal. I think it was ended in the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken, where banks and institutions that will give out loans would literally draw a line over sections of the city where they not want anybody that lived in that section, had an address in that section, would not get loans, which is an illegal practice. And they made that illegal. She's saying that practice ended in the 1970s is the reason that today's cities have crimes. Does that make sense to you?
There is
meaning because you didn't get a loan, because your parents didn't get a loan, and you're living right now in the projects or wherever you're living, that makes you a criminal.
In a generational disinvestment from Yorktown that there was in the South Bronx. Two, we actually fully fund and with a lot of wealthy areas, their PTAs add millions of dollars to school operating budgets. So these kids aren't subject to a school to prison pipeline.
Stop it. They do the same thing in New York City. New York City, and somebody could probably confirm this, adds millions of dollars to the school budget. I dare say billions of dollars to the school budget in New York City. So what are you talking about?
When teenagers go into high school in Westchester County, they don't get patted down. They don't have to go through metal detectors.
Why?
And they have school counselors. There'll be 5-6 school counselors.
But why don't they get patted down? Again, her ignorance she has no clue what happens in New York City high schools, where they are bringing in knives, where they're bringing in guns. That's what they're doing in New York City high school. Hence the need to have metal detectors. Why do they have metal detectors in prison? Oh, because people are bringing in guns, they're bringing in knives, they bring in all these things that the metal detectors are there for, not to allow those things to get into the prison. That's why they have metal detectors in high school.
Of course this doesn't happen.
Look at her little smug smile. She said that, so of course it doesn't happen. Like she's making any type of sense whatsoever.
in suburbs. I would say this isn't reflective of the community. It's reflective of our policy.
There you go. Is blaming it. This is what leftists do, what socialists do, communists do. First of all, they have a real materialistic view of everything. Everything, it's a money relationship. The reason poor people act up in the hood is why? Because they're poor. They cannot afford to not act up and commit crimes because they're poor. That's what poor people do. They commit crime. This is what she's saying, because they don't have money. Yet I'm poor. I've been poor my whole life. We don't commit crimes. I don't commit crimes because I know how to behave, even though I'm poor. But again, there's this false dichotomy between money, resources, and people's behaviors to commit crimes. And she says it like, yeah, it's because they don't fund the schools. That's why they are they are killing people in Brooklyn.
And it's reflective of how we treat communities differently in terms of their investment. And so that's what I'd say to that point.
No, you are totally wrong. Totally. Makes no sense what you just said, actually. You cannot say that about poor people. It's like you're telling poor people, the reason that you guys don't act good is because you guys don't have material things. That's it. That's what type of comparison is that? That is insane again, but this is their frame of thinking. Everything is this again, this is a Marxist worldview. This is the people who have money, it's a material thing, against the people who don't. And the people who don't act up because they weren't invested in. Everything come down to a money, which is stupid. Yet again, people vote for this type of woman. But I mean, what and I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but this woman was a bartender. Again, there's nothing wrong with being a bartender. I'm a bartender, right? But and that doesn't make you dumb or anything, but this woman doesn't have experience. She doesn't even know why. She doesn't even know why they have metal detectors in a school in the Bronx as opposed to a metal detectors in schools in a New York City suburb where everybody's affluent and everybody knows how to behave, because that's the fact. Knows how to behave. She doesn't know that, and yet you expect for her to make major policy decisions. Makes no clue whatsoever. Remember, this channel or this video and all these videos are gonna be brought to you by Goya. If it's Goya, it has to be good. Why? This is a great first sponsorship for Goya, because the CEO, as a matter of fact, that AOC is asking people to like boycott a Hispanic company, asking Hispanics to boycott a Hispanic company that employs 90% Hispanics. Did I say Hispanics enough? Yeah, but that's what she's asking people to do, which is insanity, right? She's projecting this boycott of this company. It's insanity, but this is where we at in 2020. Remember, we're trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers, and only with your help we're gonna make it happen. How? By subscribing, by liking, by sharing the content. Every Friday, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern, we have a call-in show where you're able to call me directly and ask me any questions. See you there. God bless. Godspeed. Me, Valentine. I am out.